Hello everyone, I'm Kostas, here is my colleague Alex.
Hello.
We're going to showcase today how you can operate industrial assets over private OT networks running on AWS. To set some context, here are some terms you should be familiar with. Operational technology, OT, stands for hardware and software to monitor and control physical processes, devices, and infrastructure. So that's OT. PLC is a programmable logic controller, is actually this little piece of hardware here. It is an industrial computer and asset which controls assets locally. And last but not least, we need our SCADA software systems, supervisory control and data acquisition. This is a software and a system that controls PLCs. So we have assets, PLCs, and then SCADA to control PLCs. This is the purpose of this demo. The objective is to demonstrate how we can securely and privately have OT operations on AWS with near real-time monitoring and control. We have adopted industry standards and best practices, and we are actually adopting the Purdue model, which explains, which splits the architecture in different layers. And it is like this. So this is the traditional Purdue model. We have our sensors on level 0. This would be our turbine in this case. We also have PLCs. We already explained what this is. This is on level 1. So traditionally, we have SCADA systems and HMI human machine interface to interact with the SCADA systems, which are running on premise. Here is where we step in. We step in utilizing another industry standard, a Cisco firewall, to set up side-to-side VPN connections and move SCADA systems on AWS. From that point onward, SCADA systems have the same architecture. We can adapt them, we can expand on them, we can build on that, and we have our data on the cloud and we can utilize it. In order to implement this, and also at the same time guarantee isolation, which is very important for our OT customers, and security and all the best practices we have mentioned, we have created a Cloud One architecture, which pretty much creates a private network around the world. Let me pass the mic to Alex, and he can continue with the explanations and the demo.
So with Cloud One in our demo, we have our asset in Athens. The closest point of presence for Cloud One is in Milan, in Italy. And we have our primary SCADA system running in Frankfurt. Our secondary SCADA is on the other side of the ocean in North Virginia. This is the tree of the different segments. So next one is the architecture. We have our industrial side, we have our turbine, this thing here, our PLC, this one, connected to our firewall. And from our firewall, we have a side-to-side VPN connection with the AWS cloud. We're using Cloud One, so we are connected to the OT VPN segment. And the OT VPN segment gives us access only to the OT segment. On the OT segment, we have our SCADA system in Frankfurt and in North Virginia. On a different story, we have our sensors connected again to our firewall on a different firewall zone and with a different side-to-side VPN connection. We also connect to the cloud to a different segment, the IoT VPN segment, which has access only to the IT segment. So you can see that we have complete isolation of the traffic for the OT network and the IoT network. And now it's time for the demo.
So, taking advantage of AWS global infrastructure and the architecture we have built on top of Cloud One, we have actually installed and running 2 SCADA systems on AWS, one in Frankfurt and the other one in North Virginia. North Virginia will act as a failover, and through Frankfurt SCADA HMI, we're able to remotely control and monitor our asset. We can very easily turn it on and increase the RPMs so the asset will start spinning. And we can spin it up even faster. with minimal latency. Now, what's interesting, again, we are taking advantage of global AWS infrastructure. We are able to fail over within a few seconds to North Virginia. We are going to simulate now a disaster scenario running on premises, which produces error on Frankfurt SCADA HMI. Still, no discrepancy on premises to the asset. You can see everything is still spinning, and within a few seconds, you will see SCADA on North Virginia becoming active and becoming the primary SCADA system. So we can see now, North Virginia is the primary SCADA. It has information as it was in Frankfurt. We can continue monitoring and operating our asset with no discrepancy. We can spin it down, and eventually, if we want to, we can even turn it off. And that concludes our demo. As a next step, as a call to action, if you have any customer, industrial customer in any industry, it doesn't have to be necessarily energy, because we are seeing a turbofan engine here, reach out to us. We can definitely have a conversation of how these customers can build on top of their existing architecture and infrastructure and utilize OT operations on AWS.